Hi you guys, my name is Kim and I am the owner of Fifth and Hollow Hair and Wigs, and I'm going to show you guys how to make a wig today. So I'm going to just show you a few things that you need to have first so that you can get started making your custom wig. I have here with me 3 bundles of 24-inch hair. They are already pre-colored. It's going to be so pretty. Some of them are not. But when I'm done with this, I'm actually going to finish the rest of the color customization because this is a custom colored wig and it's a custom fit wig for one of our fabulous girls. So we also have our closure. You're going to need some sort of closure. This is our 5x5 HD lace closure. And this has also been pre-colored and pre-highlighted. However, I am still going to go through and customize this as well. So you'll need a closure. I have a few more other things you'll need. You will need a cap. I like these dome style wig caps. They are the Japanese swim cap. I like these because they are very breathable, very stretchy. This style is 5011 black. Can't go wrong with this one. You'll need one of these. You'll also need a mannequin head, and you want to make sure that you get the head that coincides with the size that you're going to use. Although, to have a purely custom fit, you will need to measure the client's head using our special measurement technique, and then you will put that on the mannequin head. But I pretty much know how to size it as close as possible off the measurements that they give me. So I have this wig head here. I like this one because it has the little rounding here and there. This one mimics the back of the head, so I kind of like this one. Sometimes they're kind of misshapen, so make sure that you kind of shape it yourself. You're going to need some needles and you're going to need some thread. You'll also need some wig combs. Now these combs are not the ones I really like. I just have them here to show you, but you'll need some fresh brand new wig combs. And you'll need your sewing machine, and you will also need you need a measuring tape. You can use this kind or you can use the retractable kind, a pair of scissors, replacement thread just in case your thread runs out. I like this one, Sewology overlocking thread. You'll need a marker to be able to mark your guidelines onto your cap. I like this one, chalk writer. I got that from the Dollar Tree, you guys, so I'll make sure that I put that down in the description. You'll also need some adjustable wig bands. I really like these bands. I don't like the ones that's the bra strap method. The ones where they have the hook, I hate those actually, and people kind of don't like those either. These are really nice, really adjustable. You can get these for a really good price. So I like these, and I will be adding all this stuff to the site soon so that you can just purchase your supplies directly from your favorite wig maker. If anything should go wrong, you're going to need a seam ripper. What a seam ripper does is it helps you to remove the threads. If you kind of made like an incorrect stitch, you can use the seam ripper to help get it out. You'll also want some sort of clamps just to kind of like hold things out of the way. Maybe even ponytail holders just to hold things up out the way, like the closure. And seeing that I only literally have one of these left for some reason, you're going to need replacement bobbins. You can get a whole pack of these. This came with one of the sewing machines, but you can get a whole pack of these pre-threaded bobbins from Amazon. So you'll need that because you will have to eventually replace the bobbin thread. So let's get started. Okay guys, so the first thing you want to do is grab your mannequin head. Yeah, I have a 22-inch mannequin head, and I'm going to be making a 22-inch wig. The circumference is 22. That means the area going around the head, that's going to be a 22. So even though I know that I've measured my wig head beforehand, for some reason I always want to make sure that I measure it again and again and again. It never hurts to measure. So you're going to take your measuring tape, even though the head does say 22. Sometimes the heads are not quite what they say. So I like to go around the back here and hit the front of the wig, going right there on that band. Don't pull it tight, you know, just kind of loosely go about it, and it's approximately a 22, which is great. It's approximately a 22, maybe a little bit before, but that's good. So for the front to back, that's the front of the hairline all the way to the nape portion. I want that back, front to back, to be a 13.5. So it's a 13.5. Now I want my ear to ear. My personal ear to ear is a my ear to ear is about a 12.5. But my head size is a 21.5. So I want this ear to ear to be a this is a 13.5. So for the front to back and the ear to ear, they're usually about the same. So if you're too far off, maybe you could be about half an inch off from the ear to ear as opposed to the front to back. But just based off the years I've been doing this, sometimes I've noticed, most of the time I've noticed, if you have a front to back that's like a 14 and you have an ear to ear that say it's a 11, that's not accurate. You need to remeasure. Or you have a front to back that's an 11 and your ear to ear is probably like a 13. Please just remeasure it, and remeasure it exactly the way that you're going to put your unit on. Is it going to be short hair, no hair? Is it going to be braided down, ponytails, big braids, no braids? That's how you need to measure it, because that's the way that your wig's going to be made. Okay, so we got that, and we got the ear to ear once again, and approximately is half of the wig cap. So this is a good 13, so I like that. I'm gonna rock with that, and I like to write the stuff down as I'm making it. So I'm gonna say the circumference is a 22, the ear to ear is a 13.5. I'm sorry, the ear to ear is a, what was that, a 13? Let's take a look again. Measure, measure, measure. Yeah, it's about a 13. I'm gonna rock with that. And then the front to back, that was a 13.5. So that front to back, because for this particular customer, mine's a 12. For this particular customer, her head here is actually not this round. So her head is not this curvy here. It's actually flatter in the back. So, because you could probably just use this part of the measurement and act like this is the forehead, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, when the customer puts it on, the cap will stretch out because hers is kind of flat. But I want to be as close as possible without having a mold of her head, like a mold form. So I don't want that to be too stretched. That's a 13. Mine's a 12.5. That's a 13. I'm gonna rock with that on this 22. So now what you're gonna do here is you're going to go ahead and put the closure on. And I just like to hand sew my closures. I like to go by this guideline right here on this cap, right here. And I just flick it down, boop, just like that. And I like to go about a 1/4 of an inch below where the front hairline is. I like to go just maybe about 1/4 of an inch down. And then you're just gonna pin that, and you're gonna take your same side, don't stretch, but make sure it's even. And you're also going to pin that down. Should have a pin here too somewhere. Is it pin? I didn't even pin it. take it, pin it down. Don't, oh my goodness, don't stretch it too much, but you do want it to lie flat to the cap. So that should be down real good, because that's like when you cut off this part underneath, that's what's going to be exposed. That's where the hairline's going to be. So now, just like to go straight down this middle here so that I can make sure that it's flat. Make sure my closure is flat, and I'm not going to pull backwards. I'm just going to lay it, making sure that it's laying flat. I like to hold it here, and you're going to need pins. So you can use T-pins or you can use push pins, but you're going to need some pins. So you'll pin it down side to side. And then I'm going to take, this is why you can braid this down right here, or you can pin it up, but you don't want to cause tension. So I'm going to take the same thing over here because I want it to not be bulky. I want to make sure everything is laying flat onto the cap, so when you sew it, it's laying like it's supposed to lay, and you don't have that big chunk or hump there. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and just get this up. Okay. So I'm going to take another pin and I'm going to pin it here, if the pin will actually hold. Alright, so now just readjust as needed. That's better because that's going to sew flat. Now I'm ready to sew. And please, please, please do not pull on your closures. You will rip them. Alright, so it's ready. Let's sew. Okay, so now I have one of my pre-threaded needles. You can use any size needle that you like, that you're comfortable with. I have these two, but there's nothing special about them. I just have whatever needles I use. But like I said, whatever you're comfortable with. Now, I like to start from one side, do the one side only, and then go back and sew the other one, which is why I have two. So I go underneath the cap and underneath the closure. Yes, I did remove the pin because I just want to make sure that I'm holding this flat, and I just pull through, being real gentle, and I'm gonna hit it with one more stitch underneath, wrap that around, and gently pull through. Now I'm going to take the needle and go over the top, pull down, and just for the first stitching, the reason I go underneath first is because it helps me to kind of anchor the closure downward instead of pushing it that way. So, and you're going to go back over this anyway when you sew with the machine, but it's still really good to get the closure in the right spot by hand first, if that's the way you're doing it, and then just do your stitch kind of downward as opposed to like side to side. So I'm just going to take this one out because I still, like I said, I want everything to be flat as possible. And sometimes you make a mistake, so, and you may drag it, or you may cause a little hump in the middle because one side is not as flat. So that's what your seam ripper is for, or your scissors. And you just need to be careful with the seam ripper because it will rip the closure. So you can use scissors. They don't have to be super sharp because all you're trying to do is remove the thread, not anything else. So just move my pins out of the way, and just because I've tried to go all the way around before and then made a mistake, I just learned, maybe just save myself that pain and don't do that. So now I got all that stitched. This won't stay in here because this mannequin head is so soft that it won't let my little pin stay anchored. So I'm not going to do the middle right now. I'm going to now make sure that this lays flush and that I didn't snatch this back, that I didn't pull backwards. So I'm going to replace my pin in on the side here. And boy, like this cap, man, this mannequin head, bro. All right, the mannequin head, bro. It don't want to stay, bro. So it's okay. So I'm just gonna hold this down because I do want this to be flush. And yeah, but don't pull it. Again, do not pull. You can hold it, you know, kind of tight, but don't pull it. Do not pull. Now find out what did I do with the other one. So I'm gonna take it, same thing as I said before, on the other side. Make sure that you got your front part down about 1/4 inch, and then go underneath, go up. Okay, where did I get? Oh, I didn't close it off. Okay, I'm like, I didn't even make a knot. So I didn't make a knot right here, and I'm not going to. But what I am going to do is I'm gonna lock it in right here by looping it around twice. And that, my friends, should lock her in. Boom. Like, boom. Alright, so I'm gonna get a little closer if I can. I'm gonna do one more underneath, and then lock that one down. Lock it down. Don't worry about the hairs getting in there. If you're getting a lot of hairs in there, just use your clip to get it out of the way. Now after that, I'm just gonna pull. I'm not pulling backwards. I'm gonna hold it down, and I'm going to sew downward. Now I'm standing backwards behind the mannequin so y'all can see, but it'll be easier, you know, if you're not trying to show somebody. I'm gonna go down, 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 down. Can you see? Well, I pulled that one too tight in because I was down too far. If you go down too far, because I am doing this backwards, like how that's down, just don't pull your thread tight, because if you do, you see you get bunching in the cap. We don't want bunching in the cap because that could also create tears. So just keep it light, you know, keep it light and sweet. You know, you keep it light and sexy, you know what I'm talking about? Keep it light and cute. And don't go down that far, because I did. But you try sewing backwards. I can sew backwards, but not, you know, not that great. See, now I'm coming back around to the back crown of the head. See here? And see, it's pretty much gonna be great. So now I'm just going to make sure that each side is flat. Do not pull the closure forward. You should have it pinned still. Just pin the front of the closure down away from the important parts of the lace. Like down by the parts somebody's gonna cut off anyway. Don't put it up at the top where the hairline's gonna be, because if you rip it, Now you gotta replace the whole closure, and nobody got time for that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this out, and then I will get back to you. So I'm just gonna take these two threads here. I'm gonna put the one inside the other one, and I'm just gonna tie them in a gentle little knot. Tie it gently so it locks, but you're not trying to pull tight. And don't worry about these, because you can just go back over it from this side if you wanted to, but baby, this is flat. Okay, she is super flat. Okay, look. And you can kind of tell if it's gonna be bunched up because it just won't lay. Look. Okay, let's look at it this way. The front, move this. Okay, so the front is down right there where I said it needed to be. Okay, so when the extensions are sewn down, that's how it's gonna be. Well, you know, like the rest of the cap, rather. I'm sorry. Where the rest of the wig or the hair is sewn, you have this about maybe a quarter of an inch here from, you know, the edge, because this is where the lace will be cut. You don't want to put this right there, because then the hairline will be pushed back too far. When you sew the bundles on, they're gonna come around here, and then I like to just grab them, and they'll end up being like that. So, and that's, you know, right where it's supposed to be. That's why I said try to make sure you can pin it. If you were to pin it, just because mine wasn't holding, you just pin it down. Some people fold them, and that's great too, and then you pin the edges down so everything stays. And put as many pins as you need to. It's no limit to how many pins you can put in there. But I just always still like to go and double check to just make sure I don't see any ripples. Because if I see any ripples in the closure when I've sewn it down, then that means that it's going to be bunched up. So I don't see any. So now I'm just going to pull everything back up. And like I said, you could braid it, put it in a bun or something just to get it out of the way, so when you're ready to sew. So we just want to move it out the way. But so far, how's everybody liking this? I know it's not hands-on. You can definitely get a hands-on class, but like, so far so good, right? Give me a thumbs up. So far so good, but so far so good, you know? Now let's get to the, well, first, can we like cut this off or what? So cut off your thread, because clearly you don't need that anymore. Pin your little, let's see. Let's get to it. When everybody used to post their guideline videos, it is literally the most satisfying thing for me. But let's get to this. I did not pin the back. I didn't pin it because it's very snug. But what you can do is, you probably actually should pin it as a beginner. So I will say, make sure you do pin your back down, your sides down. I didn't do that, so what I'm going to do is, I'm still not going to pin it, but I'm going to remeasure it just to show you. And when I'm measuring it, now that I've sewn this closure on, it does change your measurements a bit, but let's see, because of the hump at the top. So I'm still good. That's saying 14. It's really a 13.5. And then side to side, side to side, side to side, side to side, side to side. Put it right there. Go around the back round of the head. Boom, boom, bap. It's the same. All right, bet. Now, let me just go ahead and pin this down like a good instructor supposed to do, instead of doing things all willy-nilly. Go and pin her down with this stupid pin that don't want to stay. Hold on. All right, so this is the nape area. Typically, the nape area is anywhere from 4 inches to possibly 4.5. Nobody's neck is that big. Nobody's neck is past 5. Like, at least, no. Like your nape is small. So now, maybe 4.5. You know, maybe good 5. But your nape area is not that big, okay? So, yeah. Now, I'm just going to freehand do these guidelines. If you guys want to learn how to do them more specifically, then feel free to take a class, a hands-on class. Now, what I always recommend, always, is start at the back. Okay, I've pretty much gotten it down to no matter how many bundles you're trying to shove up in this head, you're going to have anywhere from an 8 to 10 line grid. Now, anything over that, you don't need it unless you want to do half, like half markers. And when I say half markers, I mean just like if you were to use a measuring tape like some people do, and it is very great for you to use that until you learn how to do it freehand. But half marker would be if you were to go from the underneath of the closure. The closure is 1. The next marker would be half. The next one would be 1. The next one would clearly be 2, but you would probably go maybe 1 1/4, maybe 1 3/4, maybe 2. Like, it just depends, okay? I don't go a full 1 inch apart. Not at the top. Typically, probably not all the way through. I always like to, especially if I'm doing something that has less than 4 bundles, then you're going to have to go row by row by row. And if someone wants to have layers or something, to me, unless it's just going to be a bob or just one straight style, no layers ever, you're going to need to mimic the way that the hair lays. And that means not using big chunky guidelines, because when you cut the layer, you're going to have gaps. You're going to want to go, you know, row by row by row by row by row. Okay, row by row, not chunky increments. Just imagine if you had your own hair and you cut out chunks and then you try to put layers in, you're going to have gaps. Your layers will not fall right. So that's just a little extra tip that you'll learn if you were in my class, but I need to get on with this, so let's get on with it. Now, like I said, I start here and I just go. Then I connect. Curve up, curve up, curve up, 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 up. the same thing on this side. Same thing. Boom, baby. Boom. Now we got our grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 9 lines here. They connect from side to side, and they go all the way down to the nape. You don't necessarily have to put one here because the customer is always going to pull this part when they're putting it on. Even if they have a comb right here, they're going to keep pulling, and they will loosen that track. So this is really good right here underneath the stitching of the cap. And then just work your way up and around and do like a nice little curve, you know what I'm talking about, and then hit this here. So there you go. If you did have so many bundles and you didn't want to double them or triple them, which I don't recommend tripling anything, you can always use the insides of your basic grid, and that'll get you a nice flat and easy to layer wig. Let's get into it. Alright, so now let's get ready to sew. I got my bundles. Can you see? They are so pretty. So I got my bundles here. Make sure that you have them marked if you got some that you want to be in a certain place. This one, I want it separate. And these are just going to be like fed throughout. And you know, I got my closure. So let's get going. Alright, you guys, so you probably can see that I didn't double the wefts because I have this nice little open-ended presser foot, and that one allows me to double the wefts as I go, and that saves a lot of time. So I'm going to do the first row doubled, and then I'll work my way up using singles and maybe doubles. Let's go. See? Nice and neat. Make sure that you reinforce those ends with double, triple stitching. Just, you can use your reverse on it or just go back and forth. It really depends on your machine. And now we're just going to go with the next ones and work our way up. Alright y'all, so you see what I mean when I say you can go in between the guidelines to fill out your wig without having to always do the double layers. That's what I'm doing right here. So this was one guideline, this is the next one, and I'm just going right in the middle here to go halfway through, and that's going to make it look fuller without having to use so many bundles. But also when you get ready to cut the layers, then you will have more natural looking layers instead of choppy layers. Okay, I want y'all to see I did double the weft as I got up to the top. So now I just have one more row to do, and that's around the closure. But look at this inside. Look at them stitches, baby. It's nice. So see what 3 bundles looks like. It's full, and I know it's not brushed out, but it's nice. The gap that you saw from the guidelines is covered, and yet it lies very flat. So the last row, so you can see. Okay, baby cakes, now it's time to put the band on. I like to count 3 stitches down from the top of the closure and then go right in between that bottom one, that bottom third, and like the fourth. If you put it right there, you're gonna be right on top of the like 4th stitch from the top, right in between. To me, that kind of mimics where the ear is. And then make sure you got that adjustment on the outside, not on the inside. If you do, just take the stitching out and redo it, because it's gonna be backwards, and I have definitely done it backwards before. So again, I'm showing you where that's where it should be. You want to go a little bit inside the outer part of the wig cap, and you'll just get it right in the right spot. That's just where I like it. Now I'm squeezing it together because I want you to see that it's balanced. Now once you get that first side on, just go ahead and lay that other one on top, and then close your cap together. Make sure that the closures meet up on side to side. If they do, put a little mark right there or hold your finger there, because that's where you will stitch the other side of the band. When you do that, the band will be put on evenly. See the styling and coloring in part 2. Thanks for watching.